Hey everybody, Brian here from Fitzpatrick's. In this video I want to show you this car here. This is a 191 Hyundai Tucson. What's nice about this one, a little bit more unusual, it's a premium specification which isn't as common. If you want information on this car, best thing to do, call, text, WhatsApp, whatever suits, 086 843 1945 if you want information about the car, if you want information about trading in your old car, financing, whatever you want to know. Best way to just give me a shout direct and I'll be able to go through stuff with you. Anyway, in this video I want to show you around the stuff that comes on these cars. This car I know very well. It is a car I would have sold originally. It is a one owner from new car. It has a service history with the garage and it's a nice low mileage example. Like we're saying then, it's also a premium model, which is a little bit unusual on these. So a couple of things I want to show you on the outside. Just bear with me, this car is awaiting cleaning, so it's not perfectly clean, but it's definitely presentable for you to look at. So nice big grille on the 2019 onwards model. They got this nicer chrome grille on the front that used to be an extra on the previous models. What I also like about these is you can have the daytime running light on here and then it links down in here, so you get this kind of similar complementary effect on the lighting. Down low there's a nice skid plate along the bottom along here as well, which is a brushed aluminium finish. And then the big thing on these ones, so there's an executive plus, that's an executive plus there, and you had this premium. So they so in these models there's like, oops, sorry, dropped the phone. There's a comfort plus, so 16-inch wheel, 17-inch wheel, executive 17-inch wheel, executive plus like that 19-inch wheel, and then premium, which is the top one, 19-inch wheel also. So the 19s really fill out the arches really nicely compared to say an executive, which has a 17-inch wheel from the factory. And don't get me wrong, like the 17-inch wheel looks plenty nice, but I just think the 19, it really stands out. Now one other thing on these as well, so we saw brushed aluminium along the bottom. There's also nice brushed aluminium along the side along here as well. And then when you go around to the back of the car, it also has nice brushed aluminium along the bottom as well. There's also an executive plus, and then this premium model also had nice window chrome along the bottom. The door handles are also a nice chrome finish, which looks really nice. The executive plus over there, so is, like we said, very similar cars. You see the roof on the executive plus, obviously the same color as the car. The big thing on these premiums was they had the glass roof, so obviously that has the sunroof effect. But a lot of people, which was surprising to me actually, but they liked the fact that the roof was kind of black up on top, which is not something I would have considered. One other thing as well you might notice, if you look here, that has a brushed aluminium roof rail, whereas this premium one, because it has the black roof, they've gone with that kind of effect and they've gone for a black roof rail going back to forward, which complements the roof. So small detail that a lot of people don't notice. The colour of this car is what's called a white sand, so if you're ever looking at these and they're advertised as white, they're kind of not incorrect. It is a white sand, which is more of a kind of a gold champagne sort of colour, but they are technically described as a white car. But yeah, just looking around that, that's really cool looking with the big wheels. But I think it makes a difference as well, this section along here being brushed aluminium. It's sort of just, I don't know, it kind of complements the wheels, if that makes sense. Anyway, let's have a look in the boot. Before we do that, let's have a look at the back of the car. Totally ignore the back of the car, and that's one of the kind of significant things on them. The taillights are lovely. On 2019 you started to get these nice individual LEDs built into the tail lamps, so they look really nice. I like the fact that it has a working exposed kind of sporty exhaust tip along through there. The previous owner on the car then, while the car did have a tow bar, how would you say it, there's a certain generation of people that have had tow bars on their cars their whole lives, probably don't really use them anymore, but they just always want a tow bar on a car, so that's why that was there. So it's not done any heavy work or anything like that. For one thing on these Tucsons, like looking back here, the shape on the vehicle, that's probably why they're super popular. I think it looks really well. It's just a very kind of square symmetrical shape. Very nice looking car. Anyway, let's have a look at the boot. I apologise, I know this car needs to be cleaned and it hasn't. Oops, car was locked, so it hasn't been cleaned, but you know, definitely presentable. There is a spare wheel, which is getting very rare. Boot is big in the car, obviously. That tonneau cover obviously can move backwards, which allows you, so you can push it into like another slot over here, and that allows you to recline your seat, and then you can do other things like you can put it in here, or you can put it down here if you want to store it out of the way. So it's quite versatile, but the boot's big. A lot of people bought Tucsons, family car, makes sense. In terms of the rear of the car then, so like we were saying to you, the seats are now in the upright position, but they can be reclined backwards once I move that tonneau cover out of the way. There is electrics for windows and mirrors, speakers in the rear. Condition is nice in the back of the car. The previous owner didn't have any young family or anything like that, so The rear seating probably got very, very little use, to be fair. Leathers in nice condition. The back of the seats, I know it's a bit sunny, but the condition is nice in them. Because, you know, it's a family car, and sometimes these areas can get scratched up, but sometimes when they're not used as a family car, they tend to be in nice condition in that way. There is ventilation, there's a USB connector. In terms of sitting behind myself in the rear, I've got leg room. You see the way they have these kind of 2 grooves, so it gives you kind of more space. If you're sitting in the car, like I was saying to you, this seat then can recline, which it sounds like a small thing, but it does make a difference. Lighting up here, like, but the nice thing about a car like this, obviously you can close this blind over. If you're sitting in a car like that, this is what you kind of see around you. But just having that panoramic roof on a morning like this morning, it's a really nice place to be. Moving into the front of the car, then this driver's seat. So an area I always look for wear in Tucsons would be along here, or sometimes depending how tall someone is, they might slide across and you will get wear and splitting along there, but this one's good. But then again, it's a low mileage car, you'd expect that. Lumbar support for lower back, height adjustable seat. Steering wheel is rake reach, so it goes up and down and in and out as well. Okay, we'll go for a quick drive. Before we go for a drive, up here I've got a big screen with a reverse camera. Executive Plus has navigation built in, so some of the models that come before these, they don't have they don't have navigation built in, but these ones do. But to be fair, you're going to use probably Apple CarPlay and Android Auto for things like Google Maps. Like we're saying, rear camera, however, these will also have a front parking sensors, and then obviously rear parking sensors when we're going backwards as well. So the front sensors and the bigger screen with built-in navigation that is unique to Executive Plus, or in this case, the Premium, which is higher again. Over here, these are controls for cruise control. The wipers on this Premium are also automatic, which is not common on Tucsons. Headlights are automatic, to be fair, which is common on Tucsons. And then Bluetooth over here also. Down through here, wireless charging. So I can place my phone here and it'll charge, but I can also use the USB. Dual zone climate, so I can have driver and passenger sides having independent temperatures with seat heaters on the front. And then if anyone's had a Tucson before, if you have the 16 or 17 model, some people used to complain the dash was too high, so they made it a bit lower, so that's why the screen floats now instead. That's got a bit lower, and this seat then is also now height adjustable, which it wasn't before. Over through here then, that's the handbrake. There is parking sensors on or off, auto stop start at traffic lights if you want to have that function on or off. Mode, which works between sport and normal. And one thing as well on these then, they have the more coloured display in through the centre, whereas the lesser specifications don't. These things here are going to be stuff like, I know it's getting a bit grainy because it's getting dark, lane keep assist over through here, and then various settings for doors and lights and all that kind of stuff, or, you know, average speed, or if you want a digital readout on the speedo. This is electrochromatic, so it darkens itself when someone comes behind you, and it has a compass. And then up through here, on a Premium, you get a more LED light. So it's more of a halogen sort of light on the normal models. And then over here as well, you have these lights, which are really nice if I had them switched on properly, which I don't for the door. Yeah, fine. So you have these nice lights that are up in the roof. My daughter, when she used to sit in the back of one of these, she'd just turn on that light. It was almost like a little reading light, which I thought was really, really cool. And then you obviously have the sunroof, which tilts upwards, or if you go backwards, it tilts all the way back out. And to give you an idea, that is the amount of light that comes into the car, which is very significant. So you can close over that, that's fine, and you can literally have the light, or you can also close over the blind, and that gives you a nice dark cabin if you don't want it. But hey, why would you want that? So you can let it all the way back. I mean, if you don't care about the glass roof, then I would say, why buy a Premium? Then you're better off just buying an Executive Plus, which doesn't have the glass roof, and you might even pay a teeny weeny bit less as well, because the Premiums are more expensive, and I think it's worth it. Anyway, let's go for a drive. One of the reasons people buy Tucsons is because, you know, they're high off the ground, so you get this nice elevated driving position with good visibility all the way around. The cabin is nice in terms of the way stuff's laid out. It's, you know, pretty logical. You got a big screen up through the centre. The clocks are big and bright. The gear change is quite nice. Now again, this is a low mileage car, so you'd expect it, but the controls like the gearbox, the clutch, steering, brakes, all those things feel really nice. It is a big enough car, but they are quite nimble. So say, for example, you want to do a quick 3-point turn, the visibility is going to be good, but, you know, in terms of controls, it doesn't feel like a big awkward car. And as we saw earlier, you have the parking aids front and rear, and also then the rear camera. Engine, 115 horsepower, turbo diesel engine. It's economical in terms of fuel efficiency. It should average somewhere in the region of about 6 litres per 100 kilometres, maybe a bit better. That's somewhere in the region of kind of 45-ish miles per gallon. And the cabin all the way around feels like a nice tidy car. As you can see, it drives good. So like, okay, to be fair, a Tucson is a nice looking car. It's easy on fuel, it's easy on road tax. We would provide obviously a comprehensive warranty and service a car like this before it goes anywhere. It'll have an NCT. But it's well equipped, it looks nice. Like, the thing with Tucsons is you get all, it's, you know, there's no specific demographic of people. Like, it seems to appeal to an awful lot of people, and you know, you can see why, like, because it's a bit of a kind of Swiss Army knife kind of thing. It just seems to work for a lot of people for lots of different reasons. And I know that's a complete sales pitch, but like, am I wrong? It's probably the best selling SUV in Ireland since its inception back in 2016. Anyway, that is my sales pitch. If you want information on the car, 086 843 1945, call, text, WhatsApp. That's the easiest way to get through and get information fast. If you want information about trading in your car, or if you've got an old car to trade, or whatever it is, or financing, or if you want to know about the car itself, like I sent you, I sold this car brand new, I have a service history for it. So hopefully the video's been useful. Hope you like the car. Thanks for watching.